Omega's a little wonky. Oh, Phoenix Splash.
And it went to hell. And Kenny went face first into that wood. In this war. And I mean
Paradigm shift. The elevated paradigm shift. And there it is. That was a war. Holy fuck. What is happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and I'm here with my bro, Dustin. Reason why he's here is he watched the show that we're about to review tonight, AEW Full Gear. My first impressions. Holy fucking shit. I paid $50 for this pay-per-view, and I feel like I got that off the quote-unquote main event alone.
Yeah.
Because Moxley Omega.
It was insane.
Because Moxley Omega, I mean, I knew they were going to go completely freaking nuts, but holy mother of God, I mean, some of the shit they did in that match was match of the year candidate.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't hold back at all.
I mean, well, let's go ahead and jump to it for a second, because it's like, what all did they fucking do in that match? I mean, they brought out fucking tables, barbed wire, fucking cut themselves up all over their back, and it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, there was glass, mouse traps.
Yeah, mouse traps. That was a unique one.
That was fresh to me. I haven't seen mouse traps before.
And he hasn't watched wrestling in a while, but I decided, I wanted to have him watch this pay-per-view because
it was a good jump in.
Because I kind of wanted him to see what I've been excited about for basically this past year. And what did you think of it?
I was actually never bored. There wasn't a moment which we watched. I think it was almost 4 hours long.
Yeah, it was about 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours, and none of the time I wasn't like, when's the next match? Or I never got bored of the people, any of the wrestlers. Never got bored of them. I was very entertained. For my first time seeing it, fun.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And he didn't know a whole lot of the wrestlers. I mean, he knew who Chris Jericho was.
Yeah, I did know Jericho. Yeah, but I haven't watched wrestling in probably like 5 years or more. So yeah, everybody's pretty fresh to me.
Yeah, I haven't watched it full time before this year in quite some time because it just WWE just got really boring to me. I
saw everything here and there, but all the names kind of blur after a certain point when you don't stay in it.
Yeah.
And but this was great. I saw a lot of no-namer. Well, for me, no-namers do crazy stuff that like I never saw when we were kids and watched it. But,
yeah.
I mean that. I can't remember what that move was called, but he lifted two guys and slammed the hell out of them. I don't want to give too much away because it was amazing.
Yeah.
But that was just a move. He was a smaller guy, not a small guy, but a smaller guy.
Yeah.
Pulling something like that off, that's cool.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's just an insane move.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah, I didn't want to give too much away. But
yeah, but why don't we go ahead and get started with this? He's not going to know anything from this first match because he didn't watch it because it was the buy-in match.
Yeah.
But it was B. Priestley versus Britt Baker on the buy-in match. There was only one buy-in match, which was a little bit unusual. But they had a lot of like video packages and shit at the beginning, basically. Talking about like it was almost like had like a sports feel to it with the video packages, which I thought was kind of cool. Which is, the aspect that they're trying to push with AEW.
Which does make me like it more, by the way.
Yeah. That went on for about the first half hour or so, and then they transitioned into this match, which was basically a grudge match for the most part. This was kind of born back at Fight for the Fallen when B. Priestley kind of did a sloppy stomp to her opponent, Dr. Britt Baker. And it gave her a legitimate concussion. She couldn't see out of her left eye for a couple minutes afterwards, which kind of makes me wonder if the scrap they had after that match was legitimate and not actually planned. Because Priestley's kind of been known to be a little reckless and kind of go into business for herself. I mean, I remember at All Out, she was put up in a gorilla press by Sadie Gibbs, another person you don't know, but this is for the people who do know. She kind of no-sold the drop and threw her over the top rope. The reason for that is Sadie Gibbs was supposed to appear at a show that was basically put together by Bea Priestley and her boyfriend Will Ospreay, who's another top wrestler over in Japan. But Gibbs kind of had to back out for personal reasons, and they didn't take to that very well. So that was one reason why Priestley did what she did in that Battle Royal. And then the two ended up getting into a legitimate fight in the backstage area.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they were legitimately swinging at each other. So, yeah.
That's not happening. I mean, you gotta expect that.
Well, you go into business for yourself.
Yeah, you gotta.
But it wasn't one of those cases where, like, oh, you know, backstage morale's down. No, it was an isolated incident because there was a little bit of history there.
Oh, it was very clearly.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure that afterwards they kind of talked about it. It was like, yeah, that was... Because I don't think Priestley would be the one to actually try to legitimately hurt somebody.
Yeah,
I think I was just a mistimed stomp. But, yeah, it put Britt Baker on the shelf for about a month or two. She had to go into concussion protocol. And, of course, it kind of sucks for her because she's legitimately a dentist, too. That Dr. Britt Baker DMD, that's not just, you know, a gimmick. That's actually her title. Because she actually got a degree in dentistry and shit. And in her video promo, she was basically talking about all the different musculature and joints in the jaw, and how she could literally, you know, rip your jaw off if she could. Because, well, I think that's part of the gimmick, but she knows all like the.
That still scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, because that's what her finisher is. It's kind of a Rings of Saturn type move, similar to what Pac does, but she also puts like the mandible claw on too. It's called the lockjaw. I think it's a pretty cool move name, to be honest.
They have I realized they're very creative names.
Yeah. And they make sense in a way.
Yeah. Spinebuster's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, but they're creative.
And some of them look just brutal as hell. But, yeah, anywho, this match, they gave them quite a bit of time because it was the buy-in match and they had plenty of time before the start of the show. Bea Priestley was, of course, the heel and was doing the heel shit. Like ducking out of the ring and all that other shit.
Oh, yeah.
But highlights of the match, and yes, I have a fuck ton of notes here. Because that's just what I do. So Baker started things out with a Thez press. Basically like a Steve Austin Thez press. But Bea Priestley took advantage for a little bit. Did like a bow and arrow kind of thing in the post. Had a nice flying back elbow for a 2 count. Then she also applied a surfboard stretch. She had a buzzsaw kick a la Tajiri, where it's basically like a roundhouse kick.
Oh, okay.
Applied a body scissors. Baker fought back and both hit each other with a double lariat, which knocked each other to the ground. Baker got back up, hit another lariat, hit her high knee strike, hit that neat as all hell looking sling blade. We didn't see Pentagon do tonight. That was kind of weird.
I didn't.
Yeah, the sling blade is a weird move, though.
I remember you mentioning it, but it didn't.
Yeah, the sling blade is a weird move because your opponent comes at you, you jump in the air, you kind of do a spin, and then it kind of turns into like a reverse bulldog kind of thing. It is a really weird move, but it's actually pretty cool. Seth Rollins and damn it, his name is Finn Balor. They do that move too in WWE, and it actually looks pretty good. I think it's more Flash than anything else, but that's just me.
I love Flash. That's cool.
Baker hits a fisherman neck breaker for a 2 count. Looked nasty. Hit a superplex. Tried to pick her up, but damage to her back. Kayfabe, of course. She she couldn't pick B up, but B tried to come at her, but Baker hits a nice cutter for a 2 count. But B counters the pin into a crucifix for a 2 count. And then B Priestley hits a German suplex, kind of locks the arms, rolls through and hits a shoulder capture suplex for a 2 count. She applies the Regal stretch, but Baker makes it to the ropes. B hits a double stomp to the back for a 2 count. B then tries to go for her finisher, which is the Japanese Ocean Queen suplex, which is basically like an electric chair drop with a pin combination.
Just for me. Say that again?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's the Japanese Ocean Queen suplex. It's a mouthful. It's basically an electric chair drop back into a pin, basically.
Jocks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But Baker actually manages to get out of it and hits a ripcord elbow, which looked really good. And then she hits a Canadian Destroyer, the flip pile driver, for a 2 count.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The move that we saw that one old dude hit.
Which he nailed.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. B tries to get a schoolgirl for 2 count, which is like the most devastating pin ever, the roll up. The most devastating move at all for professional wrestling. Thanks, Simon Miller. Sorry about that. But Baker then hits a nice super kick. That's one thing she picked up from her boyfriend, Adam Cole, who's in NXT. Bit of an influence in that with super kicks. Then hits the page turner, which is basically like a weird looking angle slam. It's basically kind of like,
okay,
like if you grab your opponent's arm and you twist it around your head and you grab their leg and kind of throw yourself back.
Like a swoop kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then B Priestley tries to block it, but Baker locks in the lockjaw for the submission victory. It was alright. It was one of Baker's better performances because as of late she's kind of been all over the place. Sometimes her performances is kind of not as clean.
Yeah.
But I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. It was alright. Then afterwards, Awesome Kong comes out with...
which I missed.
Yeah, what we did see it on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
She came out with Brandy Rhodes. And basically attacks B with the implant buster and then takes a lock of her hair. Don't exactly know what that's about, but that was my Britt there.
I've been there.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid start to the buy-in. It was a pretty solid buy-in match, for what it's worth. Then we get into the pay-per-view proper. We start with the Young Bucks taking on the formerly known as LAX Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. This was a highlight reel. So many freaking moves that these guys did. A lot of combo moves. And of course, they picked it in a way that I kind of expected because they're kind of trying to push Proud and Powerful right now. But highlights of this match, and there were a lot. Matt started out things with a spear after Nick kind of distracted one of the LAX guys. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Santana. They knock them both to the outside, and the Bucks hit the Pescados, where they basically just grab the ropes and just throw themselves over. Matt hits a couple of arm drags. There was a spot in the match where Santana tried to tag out to Ortiz with his foot, but the referee wouldn't allow it, which was kind of which was kind of unusual. Nick hits a thrusting arm breaker and an arm drag himself, but then a very unique combination by Proud and Powerful. They block Nick's Santana blocks Nick's super kick, turns it into a dragon screw. And then they put Nick in a Boston Crab. One of the other guys put Matt in a Gory Special. And they had the Boston Crab Gory Special combo. I was like, okay, that's unique.
It looked... what's that movie? The Human Centipede?
Yeah.
It looked very reminiscent of that. It looked real painful, for sure, especially for the dude on the bottom.
Yeah.
all that weight.
It just looks. It looked kind of weird. Points for originality though.
Yeah.
Santana hits a nice suplex and a senton splash. And then Ortiz did his dead man splash, where basically planked as he went up into the air and got a 2 count. Matt hit a double lariat on both opponents after getting the hot tag from Nick. Matt does a body slam and then a flying crossbody onto Ortiz on the outside, and then hits the Shawn Michaels-esque dynamic elbow drop for a 2 count.
Looks good every time.
Yeah, the Young Bucks hit a slingshot Gamagiri, and then they assisted double stomp. Nick tried to do his running soccer kick, but ended up kicking the ring post and injuring his shin, which I'm pretty sure that's kayfabe, but they kind of used it in the match.
Yeah, they did it well.
And Ortiz did a nice leg trip on Nick, and he basically face planted himself on the apron. Oh, always looks nasty. And if you hit that wrong, you could, you can injure your neck. So and that's the last thing you want to do. Prime Powerful hit a basement drop kick on Nick to his injured leg. Ortiz with a nice dragon screw and gets a 2 count out of it. Hits a rolling headbutt where Nick was up against the ropes, and he kind of rolls and does a headbutt into his midsection. Tries to run back off the ropes, but gets hit with a super kick. Nick gets the hot tag to Mac, who does his locomotion Northern Lights suplexes. That was the move he was alluding to earlier, where he then grabbed both guys, did the Northern Lights suplex, but then he added a second one into that and got a 2 count off both guys.
Looked amazing. It did. For as small as a guy he is.
Well, they do a lot of conditioning and a lot of weight training and stuff.
But I mean, just size-wise, back in the day, it would have been Andre the Giant doing something like that, lifting 2 guys and slamming them. But nowadays, that's just skill. That was cool. That was a cool moment.
Yeah. Another thing, there wasn't really a whole.
He did it twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he did it twice in a row.
Yeah, he did it twice in a row. He didn't. It was cool.
And rolling through with both guys. I mean, that's
what I mean. He got right back up, did it again,
and got a 2 count out of it. That's pretty cool. The Young Bucks hit their buckle bomb down on Giri combo. They do what they call the risky business, where one of them does a standing moonsault and the other one does a flying splash. Got a 2 count out of that. Ortiz, I think it was either Nick or Matt. They did an Irish whip towards on Santana, or was it Ortiz? It was Ortiz actually, towards his partner in the corner. But then he grabbed his partner in a waistlock, rolled him backwards, and
oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, Santana hits the jumping cutter out of that roll, which was pretty cool.
That was cool as hell. Yeah, he used the moment. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prime Powerful does their rolling flapjack, where they pick them up in a cradle and then flip them over.
Yeah, that was cool as hell.
That was another one he really liked. He was like, oh, that was badass. And then Santana does a nice step-up moonsault off his partner for a 2 count. Then they tried to do the Street Sweeper, their finisher, which is basically a sit-out powerbomb blockbuster combo. But Matt counters out of it by hitting the flux capacitor on, I think it was Ortiz that tried to do the neckbreaker variation. But Matt countered out of it with the flux capacitor, which is basically like a sideways spinning belly-to-belly suplex. Actually looked really good. Matt then hit a super kick, and then the Young Bucks started their super kick party. Just hitting everybody with super kicks.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. He just kicked the shit, literally kicked the shit out of me.
And then the Young Bucks do the Powerbomb Shiranui combo, shades of the Motor City Machine Guns, or their old rivals, for a 2 count. Try to go for the Meltzer driver, which he hasn't actually seen, but the Meltzer driver, the Meltzer driver is where Matt picks up his opponent in a tombstone, and what Nick usually does is he springboards off the ropes in a somersault, and it's basically a stuffed tombstone pile driver. Okay. With Nick doing a somersault into their opponent. It's actually pretty cool.
Flash to the ass kicking.
Yeah, and the name Meltzer driver refers to Dave Meltzer, who's one of the head guys of the Pro Wrestling Observer. They have a long-standing relationship with each other. They're really good friends with them. And they named the Meltzer driver in his honor. He's still around, but, it's more of a respect thing.
No, yeah, it's just a cool... Can't think of the word.
Whatever it is, it's still pretty cool. But
ignore it.
Playing into the fact that Nick injured his leg earlier, again, continuity, something that WWE seems to fucking lack.
They did stick to that. They did.
Yeah, that's another big difference between WWE and AEW is their attention to detail, and you know how one event earlier plays into something that happens a little bit later on.
Like 20 times they played on that in a good way.
Yeah, and he was selling the leg hardcore.
Yeah, like they did a great job of like really selling. Like it just organically, it's fucked up.
Yeah. So Proud and Powerful does some super kicks too. Nick tries to come back with forearm shots, hits some nice spin kicks, and a tornado kick. I mean, he's basically kind of like the martial arts guy. Hits a nice running knee strike, but then Proud and Powerful gets the upper hand. Santana hits a nice sit out power bomb, and then flips him up and hits a super kick, and he only gets a 2 count. They knock Matt to the outside, and then Proud and Powerful hit their Street Sweeper finisher for the 3 count and the victory, which I kind of expected because they're going to be pushing those guys real big because, you know, they're going to have the Inner Circle be like the dominating guys right now and probably push them towards a title shot at some point. I personally gave this match 4 stars out of 5. What did you think of it? Didn't you give it like a 3.5 somewhat?
I did 3.5. I did 3.5 stars.
Or was it 4? I honestly can't remember.
I think I turned it up to 4 because which I don't know if I should or shouldn't have, but the other guys jumped in at the end, and it was like a whole cool thing.
Oh yeah. That's something else. The Inner Circle started attacking like the Young Bucks, and Sammy Guevara came out, and he was like on his phone, like doing a live stream kind of thing, and then the fucking Rock and Roll Express come in and start like attacking the Inner Circle, and then I think it was Ricky Morton who fucking does a slingshot Canadian Destroyer on Santana, and then dives to the outside on everybody. It's just like
it looked great.
I mean, he got some fucking air on that Tope Suicida. I was like, holy shit, these guys still got it.
I think that I rated it a 3.5. And then when that happened, I gave it a 4.
Yeah. Because I was like, man, these old guys still got it. And again, continuity, because...
but they fucked with him right in the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
They fucked with him.
But also,
and then,
about a week and a half ago, they had the finals of the tag team tournament, and the Rock and Roll Express was actually supposed to present the tag team championships, but they were attacked by Proud and Powerful.
Yeah.
And Ricky Morton was sent through the stage, so... Which, of course, was set up to, for that to happen. But
yeah.
But again, like I said, continuity. One thing leads to another. Storytelling is really nice in AEW, by the way. I should say.
It's really good.
The next match, oh my god, this match was fucking good. Pac versus Hangman Adam Page. Of course, Pac's one of his guys because did he say that Pac? You would like to see Pac in a match like against John Moxley or something like that?
Oh yeah, that would be
like in a pay-per-view style match.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Just to see those two guys just go at it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, this is kind of the rubber match. They each have 1 win apiece. This was another match that should have taken place at Double or Nothing, but due to creative differences between AEW and Dragon Gate at the time, they decided to hold the match with a different organization over in England. But then they eventually smoothed all that out, and it was pretty evident because Pac was actually the one who replaced John Moxley when he went down with his MRSA infection.
Which makes sense, because if you're going to switch a psycho with a psycho, I mean, damn.
Yeah, because Pac ended up facing Kenny Omega at All Out, and actually got the submission win over him, which a lot of people were a little shocked at that, but... and then
I've seen his submission.
It's basically
brutal.
the rings of Saturn with like a neck lock.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Well, that's in the name. It's the Brutalizer.
Oh,
so there you go. But yeah, this was definitely one of the best matches of the night, but where do I even start with this? Highlights of this match. So they start the match. They come at each other. Paige powers Pac into the corner. Hits, of course, his trademark fall-away slam. But Pac blocks the ground shooting star press by putting his knees up. But Paige sends Pac to the outside, hits a nice tope suicida and a nice lariat, and then picks Pac up in his pump handle fall-away slam for a 2 count. And Pac starts hitting these like face washer kicks on the apron. It's a nice low drop kick, only got a 1 count out of it. Hit a running uppercut for a 2 count. Then a nice little scissors kick and a single leg drop kick. And then kind of locked him in like a side headlock, like an inverted sleeper in a way. I guess that's the best way to put it. Tries to go for his middle rope Phoenix Splash, which there aren't very many people who can hit the Phoenix Splash from the middle rope. Because you don't have, I mean, usually people try to go from the top rope because it's a little bit higher up, but he's one of the only guys that does it from the middle rope, and he does it so effortlessly. But then again, he's the man that gravity forgot, which is his tagline, because when this guy goes face and you see all of his high-flying shit, you'll understand why. Paige hits a nice lariat, but Pac counters back with another pump kick, but Paige counters with a spine buster for a 2 count. They go out into the apron. Pac tries to run at him, but then Paige hits like a sidewalk slam on the apron, which always hurts. They do say that the apron is the hardest part of the ring, although it's the ring post, actually.
And you lick my taint. Here comes the meat wagon.
Damn, that crack.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh, okay.
Now go.
Alright. Paige hits his moonsault to the outside, although I'm always afraid that he's going to break his leg on one of those one of these days. That's a very risky move to do.
It is. It really is. He's going to kick.
They get back in the ring. Paige hits a nice Yakuza kick for a 2 count. They go back outside. Pac hits that brain buster on the chair, which he thought was kind of botched, although I don't know if it was or not.
The only reason I thought it was botched was the red mark on his back that showed up later.
Yeah.
Was really defined, and I thought maybe they landed just a little off.
Yeah, maybe.
Not like the whole thing was definitely like in a
I mean, it looked
way.
good, but
it looked great. It looked amazing. It looked like he really got fucked up, and all I mean is, I think like 30% of them really got fucked up.
Yeah.
Like 30%.
Because you could see the red mark going up and down his back.
Like it really did get a nice definitive cross.
I mean, you could see it clearly on the camera. It looked like a fucking stripe going down his back.
Yeah, like where I think they might have just botched the landing. The setup and everything was great.
Yeah. And then Pat gets back in the ring. They both get back in the ring. He hits a missile shotgun drop kick for a 2 count.
Say that again.
A missile shotgun drop kick. Basically, it's a missile drop kick, but it's instead of doing like a side version, it's a layout version.
Okay.
They usually call that the shotgun variation because it's 2 barrels, basically.
Sounds like a Dragon Ball Z special move. Like.
It sounds like it could.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds great. That's all. For a normal move?
Yeah.
That's a dope man.
Looks good, though.
Oh, yeah.
Pac starts hitting some chest kicks and then a Gamengiri. Tries to go up to the top rope. Paige stops him, though, and launches Pac across the ring with a fall-away slam off the top rope. Basically threw him all the way across the ring to the other corner.
It was... That was cool.
He was like, holy shit, he threw him there, damn near threw him out of the ring. 10 count was started. Pac gets back up, hits a nice super kick, and then a rebound German suplex. But then he runs off the ropes, and Paige hits a pop-up powerbomb. Tries to go for the dead eye, but Pac actually counters into the brutalizer. Last couple of times we saw that move, he actually got the submission victory, but Paige actually makes it to the ropes. Pac tries to go for the black arrow, corkscrew shooting star press, but Paige moves out of the way. Paige hits some nice roaring elbows, the discus elbows, and then hits the dead eye for the 3 count and the victory. Your winner, Hangman Adam Page. And of course, a couple times the crowd was doing the cowboy shit chant.
Yeah, which you can't help but get hyped up. That's just...
And as JR said, there's his next t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it seems like every catchphrase they've come up with has turned into a t-shirt and it's been a bestseller.
Oh, they're going to put that on a white t-shirt or a black one, and they're going to make...
They're going to make bank on it.
Yeah,
I mean, the little bit of a bubbly shirt that Jericho had, it was the best-selling t-shirt in a 24-hour period in Pro Wrestling Tees' history. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a damn fine match. These guys went balls to the wall, and of course, being in a pay-per-view setting helps with that. I gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. It was that damn good. It was one of my favorite matches of the night, and that's saying a lot because there's a couple coming up that I fucking loved. What did you give this match personally?
I think I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I think it was a 4.
I think when we were what? I think I gave it a 4.
Which, by the way, anything 4 and above is considered a pretty fucking good match.
Oh yeah, I was in no way bored or like, when's the next match? No, I was ready. They were kicking each other's asses. It was awesome.
Yeah, the next match I think you consider kind of like a cool down match because you don't want people like super hyped up for the entire the entire pay per view because I mean that's a long time to stay that hyped for like 3.5 hours. So occasionally you'll have matches in the middle that kind of bring things down a notch so that you kind of catch your breath in a way. And I think that's what this next match was, which was still pretty solid though. It was the chairman, formerly Perfect 10, Shawn Spears, with Tully Blanchard at ringside against the bad boy, Joey Janela.
Oh, yeah.
This actually all started back on AEW Dark this past week on Tuesday. Not the one on Friday, which they aired out of nowhere, which I didn't realize. Although, I think it does make sense considering the pay-per-view was tonight. Well, at the time of recording. But basically after that show, they had like a little video where... Tully Blanchard kind of approached Janela and was kind of mad at him that he put a cigarette out in his coffee. So he basically had Spears shove a cigarette onto his tongue, although they didn't really show it, so it's kind of like implied.
Oh, okay.
Implied for effect. So basically that's how this came about. And then on Dynamite, Spears got a squash win, was going to do a Death Valley driver onto a chair, and Janela basically came out and stopped them. So I think it's going to be like a new budding rivalry that's kind of starting up. But I think this match was kind of put in to kind of calm the crowd down a little bit after 2 damn good matches to start the show. But the highlights of this one, Janela starts things out with a Frankensteiner and damn near didn't get it all the way locked in. He kind of had it by his ankles. But they still managed to get it in. Hit a low super kick while Spears was on the outside. But he tries to come at him with a crossbody, but Spears counters it into a power slam, which looked really nice. Spears' knife-edge chops were loud as fuck. I mean, they reverberated throughout the entire damn arena. I was like, damn, those are some chops. And of course, you had the usual woos like you usually hear. They start trading chops. Spears hits a nice back suplex on the apron. Not the usual sense. They were both standing on the outside. And basically, Spears picked him up and just dropped him on the apron. I mean, technically, it's supposed to look effective, but I mean, he's dropping him from like 2 feet.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, I understand that they try to sell the apron as a hard part of the ring, but I mean, a drop like that's not going to really hurt someone.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's for effect. Spears hits a nice pendulum backbreaker. And then he ties Janela's hair to the ring rope.
Which... Gee.
I thought that was kind of funny.
It's gotta be rough.
Well, when you have hair that long and you're trying to pull it out, I mean, that couldn't have felt good. Because that's what, after Janela started countering what Spears was doing, he was trying to yank his hair out of the damn ring rope, and he was having a real hard time with it. That could not have felt good at all.
I swear he lost hair when he finally did.
Oh, they even said that there was still some hair on the frickin' ring rope.
Yeah, see, that makes me feel better. Because he really did. He got pissed off and he was like, nope, And he just finally just ripped it.
And the crowd actually cheered at that.
Yeah, like, that had to hurt. No, you're supposed to. Take another drink.
Oh. Well, I don't do that because I'm not actually sponsored by
No,
them.
I know, but we love them.
But
we would love one.
Yeah. Anyway, so after Janela gets out of the finally gets out of the ring rope, he tries to go for like a drop kick off the middle rope, but misses, and Spears locks in a Natalia-esque sharpshooter. It kind of crosses the legs the wrong way, but still looked effective because it's the same way that Natalia does it in WWE. But Janela got to the ropes, hit a nice looking super kick to kind of get out of that. Janela hits nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the super kick was on full display tonight.
Oh God, yeah. There were
but it's always a cool move to look at, though.
It's my favorite move. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I love it.
Janela hits the double knee strike and then a senton splash to the outside. Tries to go to the top rope, but Spears hits a nice avalanche belly-to-belly suplex. Looked more like a Greco-Roman throw, but still looked pretty cool. Got a 2 count out of that. Janela with a small package for a 2 count. Hits the tope suicida, which is used a bit much. Janela starts hitting chest kicks and then hits a nice northern lariat, which is basically the same as a lariat, but the opponent's kind of looking away from you. It's basically a lariat to the back of the head. It was used by Bobby Roode, who's a Canadian, so he called it the northern lariat. That was one of his early finishers. Yeah.
That makes, yeah.
Janela hits a suplex for a 2 count, does a couple of stomps. Janela tries to go up to the top rope again, but Spears counters with a Snake Eyes backbreaker. Basically, he does a pendulum backbreaker, but on the top of the turnbuckle. Takes the other turnbuckle off, and while the referee's fiddling with it, trying to get back on, that's when Tully Blanchard got involved, and they both hit like a spiked pile driver on the outside. And it was like at that point, it was like, yeah, this one's pretty much over. And yeah. Spears hits his running Death Valley driver for the 3 count and the victory. And your winner, and he's won 3 matches. I mean, if you count last week, and then if you count the Dark Show, which actually technically happened last week because it's the Dark Show for Charlotte, or was it Charleston? It was Charleston. And then Dynamite, and then tonight, that's 3 wins in a row for Spears. So obviously they're trying to build him up a little bit. He actually had a little bit of time off after All Out, but now they're getting him back into the swing of things. It was an alright match. I gave it 3 stars out of 5. Wasn't the best. That was a pop. But it was alright. It was a nice little match to kind of settle things down a little bit. Because the next 4 matches, rip the knob up, turn the knob up to 11 and just rip the damn thing off.
Yeah, they went insane.
But what did you think of the Spears Janela match, personally?
I, again, never got bored. Got to saw some insane stuff. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 3. It was alright.
I think I gave it I might have went 3.5. I can't remember what I said. I think 3 or 3.5.
Yeah, right around there. He's not a big fan of Joey Janela, though.
Yeah, I don't much care for him.
Didn't really connect with you?
Yeah, I'm sure there's people that love him. Just for me.
Well, he is kind of popular with the fan base. It's just not, like, at the next level yet.
Yeah, just seeing him and stuff, I was like,
I think that's mainly due to his, like, deathmatch background. Because before the unsanctioned match from tonight, he was actually in 2 prior unsanctioned matches in AEW, both of which happened against the 2 guys who were in the unsanctioned match. He lost both times, by the way. One to a paradigm shift onto thumbtacks, and the other a one-winged angel onto a steel chair. Yeah. The guy is fucking nuts. But yeah, this is the part of the show where things started turning up a notch.
Yeah.
Because the next 3 matches were all the championship matches. First of which was the Triple Threat World Tag Team title match between Private Party, the Lucha Brothers, and SCU. Yeah. This was... I mean, honestly, this wasn't as spectacular as I was expecting.
I agree.
But it was still pretty damn good.
I was looking to be wowed.
I mean, they still wowed pretty good.
But it was a solid match.
It was still a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Though. I mean,
totally
it wasn't
fun.
at their full potential, I don't think.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get a little crazy with it because you got 3 different teams.
Yeah, and all of which have nice high-flying moves and all that
we
stuff.
Have a couple.
I just think the triple threat aspect of it kind of, I don't want to say took away from it, because I've seen a couple of triple threat tag team matches already, and they were fucking pretty damn good, but this one I think was a little bit off. Just a little. Not too much, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it was still a pretty good,
yeah.
And it had a definitive finish, unlike the final, which was just a small package. The most devastating move in all professional wrestling. But this one actually had a definitive finish, so there you go. So I have a feeling that they're at a later time they're going to have SCU go up against Proud and Powerful, because I have a feeling that with their new ranking system they're going to shoot Proud and Powerful up to number 1, because they are 3-0 and they just beat the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks are considered one of the best tag teams in the world. So, I mean, they held the NJPW, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, ROH Tag Team titles, and the PWG Tag Team titles all at once at one point. If that tells you anything. I mean, that's 3 of the most prestigious championships, in all of wrestling. So, there you go. But,
it'd be pretty happy.
So, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And they are 3-0, and with wins and losses being as important as they are, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if we saw Proud and Powerful contending for the championships. One thing I would like to see them do is add a mid-card title, well, quote-unquote mid-card title, like a television title or something like that, which I think they said they're going to do at some point, maybe within the next month or 2. Hopefully that'll happen. I don't wonder what it's going to look like, too. I'd like to see it kind of look like the old television title from WCW. I actually really like that. I know you like the Cruiserweight title back in the day.
Yeah, I really like
that. Alright, so, highlights of this triple threat tag team match. This was kind of all over the place, and it was kind of hard to follow, because there were so many freaking things going on all at once, and it was kind of hard to jot everything down and pay attention. Like, I had to do one of them, fucking, squirrel things or something like that, where I had to have one eye looking down and one looking up, and it's just like, I can't do this cross-eyed bullshit. I mean, pulling my pants down and licking my own ball sack would be easier than this. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm just trying to make a point here. Anyway, I'm also trying to be funny at the same time. But anyways, highlights of this match. Starting out, Frankie Kazarian hits a schoolboy for a 2 count early on. Phoenix hit his inverted 619 deal. Usually he does he spins back around and does a roundhouse kick, but I think Kazarian was a little bit too close to kind of just hit a little 619 variation move. The Lucha Brothers with their own super kick party, they're not the only ones. The Young Bucks aren't the only ones to do a super kick party. They love doing that too. Oh, the Lucha Brothers do. Phoenix with a suplex only got a 1 count out of it. But then they hit a Frankensteiner foot smash for a 2 count. It was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of pointed that out. He was like, yeah, I was not feeling that one. It was kind of weird. I understand what they were going for. It just looked kind of awkward.
Didn't come out right.
Yeah, it just looked kind of awkward. The Pentagon super kick, though, that was not awkward. That was hard hitting.
Yeah, that looked good.
And then we saw a double lariat from, I think it was Pentagon and Kazarian. Isaiah Cassidy with a nice Frankensteiner, although he could tighten that up a little bit. I mean, it's just... It doesn't have the lock leg to it. I mean, he's really loose with that Frankensteiner.
Yeah.
Because it looked like he had one leg kind of draped off to the side or something like that. I mean, it doesn't look like a true Frankensteiner. And, I mean, you don't want to be falling off the guy's shoulders when you're doing a backflip, because you don't want to be falling on your head and snapping your neck. So, I mean, he could really do it.
Like you said, just tighten it up.
Yeah, because it looks loose as fuck, and it looks kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
It looks kind of sloppy, to be honest. I mean, it's obvious what he's trying to do. It's just, it needs to be tightened up a little bit, just for his own sake.
Yeah, you can make it unique, but yeah, tighten it up.
All right, so But Cassidy hit a nice slingshot X Factor, which looked pretty. What Cassidy did with the slingshot X Factor though was he jumped onto the middle rope, and then did a jump back over his opponent and into the X Factor, which I thought was pretty cool.
That was.
And then he did like a bulldog leg drop combo on both of the Lucha Brothers. It looked like both he and Phoenix landed on Pentagon though. That looked like it hurt. And then Private Party did their camel clutch double stomp, which is one of their usual moves for a 2 count. Another pretty cool move was when the Lucha Brothers did it like a Doomsday Missile drop kick on I think it was Cassidy. Say that again. A Doomsday drop kick where one of the Lucha...
missile drop kick.
Yeah,
you gotta do the whole thing. That's hard to say. I just want
the Doomsday Missile drop kick. Basically, one of the Lucha Brothers had, I think it was Isaiah Cassidy on his shoulders, and then I think it was Ray Phoenix who hit a missile drop kick, and while he was on the guy's shoulders. So yeah,
gotta hurt.
Yeah, the backflip bump was pretty cool too. And then this was a move they kind of did during the tournament. Pentagon did like a gorilla press, and then he threw his opponent. I forget who it was. I think it was one of the Private Party guys, but he threw it towards his brother, who did a super kick while they were in midair.
I do remember that. I'm pretty sure that was Private Party.
I think it was Private Party. That got hit. Because it'd be kind of hard that left one of those Scorpio Sky or Kazarian happen to press. At least not without assistance. The Lucha Brothers did like this monkey flip cannonball where they actually rolled together, and then Phoenix kind of threw his brother into their opponent. Oh yeah,
that was cool as hell. Just for like they were momentum.
Yeah, and it looked like it did like a wheel, and then Pentagon launched himself into the corner. And actually got 2 count out of that. Pentagon hits a nice lung blower for a 2 count, but Quinn did that push-up drop kick where Pentagon tried to put him up into him up into a move, but then Quinn turned it into a drop kick. That is a high freaking drop kick he's doing.
Yeah.
And you gotta be really careful when you take a back bump on that, because you hit your head from that height. Oof. That's a concussion maker right there. Scorpio Sky hits a nice lariat after getting a tag in, hits a nice drop kick, and then does his little apron spinning cutter to the inside, and then actually puts Phoenix in a dragon sleeper. It was actually kind of a standing dragon sleeper where he was like standing over him, but he had the dragon sleeper locked in.
Yeah.
So it was more like a dragon clutch than anything else in a way.
But still a cool name.
But Pentagon ends up breaking it up with a nice soccer kick. Kazarian hits a nice leg drop, and then a slingshot Frankensteiner to the outside. Last time he tried that at the tag team title tournament, he hit his head on the apron. Yeah. And we were all a little worried that he might have concussed himself, but didn't look. But thankfully, I think they checked him afterwards, and it looked like everything was okay.
Good to go.
Yeah, but that was a scary moment. But
so everybody, little word. Go.
Yeah, because it looked it looked pretty bad, but this time around the slingshot Frankenstein looked good. Then Mark Quinn does a spaceman dive to the outside, where basically he's running towards the ropes, turns around and does a backflip over the top rope to everybody on the outside. And then
I wish I could do stuff.
And then Scorpio Sky was going to do a move, but then Phoenix does his rope walk kick, which looked pretty good. And then Cassidy ran towards the ropes and then did a tornado dive, which basically he ran at the ropes, turned sideways, and then did like a tornado onto everybody on the outside. And then Phoenix said, well, shit, how am I going to top that? Oh, wait, I know. Climbs up to the turnbuckle, positions like he's going to do a moonsault, and ends up doing a corkscrew moonsault. Like, what the fuck? He basically twists twice in the air and does like a backflip moonsault.
Which is insane. If I'd have known a move like that existed when we were kids, I'd be dead. I'd be dead, because I would have tried it and then died.
You would have died, probably.
Yeah, because it's insane, twisting like that. I'm going to yell that every time, so you know.
Phoenix tried to do the inverted 619 once again, but this time he kind of went out over onto the rampway, which was actually perpendicular with the ring.
Yeah.
Which would actually not work out so well later on.
No, great idea.
But yeah, that'll be I'll be pointing that out here in a little bit. But yeah, having that set up didn't really work out so well for one particular guy. But he went out onto the rampway and did like a spinning crossbody where he jumped onto the rope, kind of did like this balancing act, and then did like a spinning crossbody. Actually, looked pretty cool for 2 count.
Okay.
SCU with their assisted DDT, which always looks good. Spiked Phoenix. Oh my god. I thought it legit knocked him out for a 2 count. Quinn with his Pele kicks. Private Party hits a stunner assisted Shiranui combo. And then Mark Quinn hit a beautiful shooting star press for a 2 count. But then SCU comes in, hits the SCU later, which was the kind of gory bomb, but then spinning into a knee strike. It looked really good. And got the 3 count and the victory. And your winners of the Triple Threat Tag Team match is SCU. I mean, I figured that was going to be the case. I mean, they only won the belts like 10 days ago. The Lucha Brothers attack SCU after the match.
Oh, I didn't know that. Of course they'd win.
Yeah, they only won them like a few days ago. I mean, I think this was more to kind of because the final kind of ended with the small package, which confused a lot of people, and it kind of took a little bit of impact away from it, I think. So I think this was kind of to make up for it, where you actually have like a definitive finish to the match. But yeah, I gave this match 4 stars out of 5. What did you give it?
I think I gave it 4. I'm pretty sure I gave that a 4.
And then the Lucha Brothers attack SCU after the match. But then the lights go out, and I was thinking, oh, it's got to be Daniels. And then the lights come up, and there's someone who's kind of dressed up like Pentagon. They do the whole hand signals. And then the guy attacks, and he does like the STU. I was like, yeah, it's Daniels. Phoenix tries to come in, gets hit with an angel's wings, and then he looks at the hard camera and rips the mask off. And of course, it is Christopher Daniels, the fallen angel. His bottom part of his face was painted up like Pentagon's did, but he also had like that cross that he used as a symbol.
The Celtic.
Yeah,
I think. When
he was actually using the fallen angel gimmick back in the day. Of course, he still uses the nickname to this day, but that symbol was actually basically, from the fallen angel gimmick. So I thought that was a pretty cool touch.
That was really That was an awesome moment.
Yeah, and Christopher Daniels is one of my personal favorites. So I would like to see him maybe get a run at the world title, but I mean, he is approaching 50, believe it or not. Although Chris Jericho is almost 50 as well, so you never really know.
He sucks bubbly regularly.
A little bit of the bubbly. The next was the women's world title match between Riho and Emi Sakura. I was wrong on one thing. I was expecting Sakura to announce retirement. Did not happen. I was completely wrong on that. One thing that I knew was going to happen was that she was not winning the world title. They are not taking it off of Riho right now because she's just way too goddamn popular right now.
Yeah,
I mean, and you could hear it from the crowd. When she came out for entrance, the roof came off the fucking place. So it's pretty obvious that, she is over as fuck with the crowd. And I'll be honest here. When I first saw her at Double or Nothing, I was like, she actually came out with 2 championship belts. She actually currently has 3 right now, 2 from other organizations. But I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But I didn't really know who she was. But in that six-woman tag, she was taking a lot of fucking bumps. Like, she took a solid kick to the back. You could hear it throughout the entire arena. She took like a freaking backdrop driver. I was like, damn, this girl's kind of tough. And it actually kind of grew on a lot of people when she became super popular. And then when she won the world title, it was like, holy shit, the roof came off the place. I mean, a lot of people called that match against Nyla Rose the match of the night for that Dynamite episode, which I thought was pretty crazy. But Yeah, she was going up against Emi Sakura, her teacher, who trained her at the age of 9.
I know I'll never meet her, but I love you.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that's why they were going to put Sakura into this match, because I figured it was going to be her retirement match, but I was wrong.
To be fair, they even set it up like you'd think.
Yeah, and it looked like she was getting emotional at the beginning of the match. I was like, could this be her last match?
Is this the one? Because she did. She looked like she was getting choked up, and you're like, oh shit, she's about to give it, which she did still give it her all.
Yeah.
But
maybe it was the moment of her being in a world title match. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, like it might have just been a cool moment. You're fighting your student who's insanely talented.
It kind of gave that vibe that it might have been her final match.
Yeah,
I don't know. But maybe we'll hear it later on and that could be confirmed, but I'm not really sure.
I did get that feeling.
But either way, I mean, this was still a pretty good match, though. I mean, it wasn't the best, but I mean, this was like middle of the road for like middle of the road for the show.
I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I'll give my rating here in a second. But highlights of the match.
Shit.
They started out with wait, you can do whatever though. He's kind of tagging along for the ride. They started out with a test of strength, basically, where they would have Riho bridge, and Sakura would basically jump on her, and it's like, damn, it kind of shows you, the kind of strength that Riho has, despite the fact that she's 98 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, because that's a big girl and a little girl. She held her own.
Then Emi started doing her Beal. She did like a hair Beal and a nice slam. Riho did, of course, her bridge out of a pin deal. They traded drop kicks with Sakura getting the upper hand. Sakura does a nice diving body press. But then when she goes up to the top rope, Riho knocks her off, and she's kind of hanging on the top rope. And this was one of the bumps of the night for me. Riho hits the coup de grace double stomp onto Sakura on the apron. Ouch. That looked like it hurt. And Riho hits a nice knee strike, transitions into a single crab. Tries to go for a suplex, but then Sakura counters it into a smash mouth. Hits a nice crossbody in the corner, and then turns it into a surfboard stretch where she's kind of rolling around all over the place. But then Riho hits a nice drop toe hold, transitions into the 619, climbs to the top rope, hits a nice flying crossbody for a 2 count, does another flying knee strike, but then Sakura turns it into a nice tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. That was beautiful. Basically, Riho was running full speed at her, and then Sakura basically twirled her into a friggin' backbreaker. It was pretty nice.
That looked vicious.
It did. And then she hits a butterfly backbreaker, which is another one of her patented moves. Basically a double underhook, but then transitions into a backbreaker.
Okay.
Jericho used to use that move a lot back in the day. Then does...
Tatted. That's on.
Yeah.
You're right.
Sorry about that, if you're seeing kind of a jump cut. For some reason, the camera turned off while we were in the middle of talking about the women's match. It was right around the time we were talking about the double stomps. So, we didn't lose too much of it, honestly. But it's just really weird why the camera would do that. That wasn't our camera.
Okay.
It was the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, it had been recording for over an hour, so I don't know if there was like a limit to it. But, I mean, it still has like 4 hours of memory left for video, so I don't know. It was just weird. But, anywho, so after the coup de grace double stomp, from Riho for a 2 count. Sakura hits a backdrop driver, which looked really nice. Hits a butterfly bomb for a 2 count, but Riho gets to the rope. They start training. They basically started doing the thing they did on Dynamite, where they start training like weird pinning combinations for close 2 counts. And then Riho does a arm scissors. Basically, it's like a head scissors, but instead of doing where you wrap your legs around the opponent's neck and you do like a swinging thing. In this case, she does like an arm scissors, spins around, and then puts Sakura into a high stack pin for a 3 count and the victory. She's actually used that once or twice before. That's kind of her thing. If she's at a size disadvantage, which is like almost every time.
Yeah.
Typically, she'll try to find unique ways to pin you. The only time that hasn't happened is when she won the title against Nyla Rose, where she hit the flying double knee strike to the face, which is actually her finisher typically.
See, when you say it like that, like flying knee strike.
Well,
to the
she
face. Then you're like, oh, that's why she won.
Yeah.
To the face.
Yeah, because it's like she's running full speed ahead, and she does like a leaping double knee strike right to the face, and it's like, yeah, there you go.
One little girl just flying at you.
Yeah,
first.
even if she's a little girl, you don't want to get hit by 2 knees to the face. I mean,
that's what I mean.
The knee is one of the hardest parts of the human body.
Yeah,
and that can legitimately break a jaw. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I totally expected Riho to retain here because, of course, it'll be interesting to see who will be going up against her next. They do have a couple. I think they have a couple people in mind.
Yeah,
they're probably going to start building up Awesome Kong, I would say.
That's the talk we should have later, but I didn't see it. There was only the one women's championship match, so I didn't get to see a lot of women's.
Yeah, well, you didn't get to see the pre-show match.
Yeah,
that was
I didn't get to see those,
which was all right, but. Yeah, they did say they were. I think Cody did allude to the fact that they were going to try to focus on the women's division a wee bit more.
Just a little more.
Because, I mean, honestly, right now the women's division has basically been Riho and Britt Baker for the most part. They've been focused on those two for the past little bit, but I would say they're going to try to start building up the rest of the division to kind of start building up contenders for Riho at some point.
Exactly.
Including like Awesome Kong, because she's going to have Brandy Rhodes in her corner. So
that'd be a fun one to watch.
That'd be an interesting one. That would be a true David versus Goliath matchup.
Yeah, that would be genuine strength on speed and versatility.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah, I gave this match 3.5 stars out of 5. I think you said you gave it a.
I'll be honest.
Was it about the same score? Or?
I really like Pretty Asian Girls, so I think I gave it a 4.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, Riho does have the look, to say the least. And the other crazy thing is the fact that she has gotten super popular with the Western audience without having to say a damn word on the mic. I mean, she's done it in like video packages and stuff, but she's never actually had to get on the mic and talk or anything. And she's still gotten over with the Western crowd. That's fucking incredible.
That's a testament to Pretty Asian Girls.
Well, that and she can
go
go in
to
the ring.
Me. I can just watch her whip ass, and I'm like...
And she can go in the ring, so there you go.
Yeah, no, that girl, she fought. It wasn't like she just came out, oh, she's the most popular, and wins. No, she got the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah, she took it, and
like,
she gave
definitely, it. That was cool. It was a fair fight. It wasn't just...
And it was also teacher versus student, too.
Yeah,
so.
It wasn't just like, oh, this is the most popular, they win. No, that was a Pretty Asian Girl versus a Pretty Asian Girl. There's no... that was a 4.5 for me. 4.
It was also a good wrestling match, too. It had some hard-hitting moves, too.
Like, that's what I mean.
Like
they don't
like a double stomp on the apron. Like
they don't hold back.
The backdrop driver. It's like, damn.
She might be little, but that's 2 tiny little feet. Just
coming at high speed and trying to squash you against a wooden apron.
She gets air. You know, she jumps up. It's not like she holds back.
She can get some air, all right, damn.
That's what I mean. Like, it wasn't just because they're Asian girls I liked it. No, it was amazing.
Yeah. It was actually a pretty good match.
That was insane.
Yeah. Alright, now we come to the world title match. Stipulation that if Cody lost, he would never challenge for the AEW world title again. And of course, this was the point where I said, yeah, this is probably when MJF turns heel. Which, well, we're going to get to that in a minute. They also had 3 judges at ringside that if it went the 60-minute time limit distance, they would decide it based on...
Yeah, I do. You were right, they didn't come into play, but...
Yeah, but...
I do remember that,
Yeah, I think that it's a nice touch, though, because, I mean, it kind of showcases how important they want the world title to be. They had Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, and the Great Muta as the 3 judges, which I thought was pretty cool. And of course, Chris Jericho and Dean Malenko used to have some great wrestling matches back in the day in WCW.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like
for the cruiserweight title.
Yeah,
I remember one angle they had where I forget what pay-per-view it was, but there was like a battle royal to determine the number 1 contender for the cruiserweight title, which Jericho had at the time, and Malenko was dressed up as one of the masked wrestlers, won the battle royal, and then demasked, revealing that it was him, and actually beat Jericho for the title right afterwards.
Before coming out.
Basically.
He was like, that's me, dude. That's cool.
And for like about 30 minutes, the cruiserweight title was like the hottest thing in wrestling at that point. Because when Jericho, or not Jericho, but when Malenko showed himself, the fucking roof blew off the place.
To be fair, as a smaller guy, cruiserweight, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's the one I care about.
Yeah, and that was one of the big strengths of WCW back in the day, was the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, it's like, you got your luchadors, Rey Mysterio's killing it.
And you had guys like Eddie Guerrero, you had Chris Benoit, which...
Yeah, who we know, but...
I mean, the depth of their cruiserweight division was insane.
It was... And Benoit, say whatever you want. Oh, wrestling.
He was a wrestler,
I mean, the dude was in and out a wrestler. Yeah. Outside of that, that's its own thing. But as a wrestler...
Can you believe that? It's been 12 years since that happened.
So maybe like, what, 17?
You said you're 27 now, right?
Yeah. I'm bad at math.
So it would make you about 15, I think.
I was about 15.
When that happened.
I was about 15. And I remember watching him with you, like when we were kids.
Yeah, I remember watching that when they aired that on Raw. I was just like, and they said that Benoit had died. I was like, damn, what the hell happened? And then they kind of went into that. They actually found out about what actually happened like a few minutes before the show went off the air.
Yeah, and what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, well, they didn't know the details of it at the time.
That's what I mean. What are you supposed to... You can't be like, well, we didn't know. No. And also...
It was just a bad situation all around.
He still deserved the memorial. He still deserved all that. No, you go crazy, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
but career-wise...
Post-mortem analysis of his brain showed that he had the brain... I think they said that he had the brain of an 86-year-old with Alzheimer's. I mean, and that just kind of...
Was it from all the...
Yeah, it was all... Because he used to use the diving headbutt.
That's why I was wondering, because I remember the...
Yeah, and when you take that many shots to the head, eventually, I mean, it's going to cause brain damage. And...
Yeah, because even before he got, like, famous, he was doing that headbutt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
probably the one move Harley Race ever regrets inventing, was the diving headbutt.
Nah, because there's forever...
I mean, at the time, they didn't know, but now we're kind of more aware of, head injuries. And...
Yeah, but you got a snooker for every time you got a Benoit. You got a Jimmy Superfly snooker.
Yeah.
For every time.
Well, he did the Superfly, which was basically a splash. I mean, it's not really the same.
But you know what I mean. Like, head-wise, like...
Yeah.
There's gonna be guys. Shit. Was it Pat?
I think so.
He was going crazy with them. It's like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it just sucks that it happened at that point.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Yes, I would probably condense that down. Sounds unnecessary, but...
But anywho, let's get into this Chris Jericho Cody match.
Insane.
Yeah, if you're a fan of old school catch-can wrestling, this is the one for you. And it still had enough of that new school flavor to it as well.
Yeah, this was...
And of course it had outside interference from Jake Hager, who thankfully got thrown out, because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's fucking outside interference. They need to do away with that shit, in my opinion. Because to me, it just ruins the flow of the match.
Kinda did, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Coming back to it, kinda did ruin it.
For a bit anyways.
Yeah, they had a nice flow, and it did. You're right.
I'm just not.
Like,
I'm not.
why did he even?
I mean, I know it's a dirty, underhanded tactic, but I mean, we've seen it so many times at this point, especially in WWE. It's like, let's phase it out for a while because I don't know.
No, exactly.
I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah, just I'd seen it and it was like, okay, I get it. The guy's gonna pull his ankle, whatever. Like, I'm glad they just finally ejected him because it was like, just really.
Yeah. So,
we all know it's not going to factor into the end of the match.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's still annoying to me, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know it's not going to factor into the match at all, so why is he even just...
Alright, so highlights of this match, and there were plenty. Had some good mat wrestling starting out, like the wrist locks and stuff like that. Jericho with a nice shoulder block, and, of course, the knife edge chops that he does so well. Cody does his layout uppercut, shades of his brother Cody, or Dustin Rhodes, the natural Dustin Rhodes. It's a nice missile drop kick for a 2 count. Does a nice thrusting shoulder breaker, and then a power slam for a 2 count. Jericho gets knocked out onto the rampway, and this is the point where Cody about killed himself. He tried to go for, looked like a suicide dive over the top rope, but kind of landed very awkwardly, and, oof.
Yeah.
He face planted on the diamond-plated ramp.
As a professional, I'd say he played it off great.
Yeah, but
damn.
you could tell that he definitely face planted because he got busted open the hard way. It wasn't one of them blade jobs where it was like a little nick or something. No, you could actually see the cut, and it looked like a semi-ring shape. And I was like, oh shit! And it looked like actually, like a skin flap.
Yeah,
was open, and I was like, oh shit, that is bad.
I really was afraid because.
I mean, we both winced it.
Yeah, we all know they're not going to quit. We all know they're not going to quit.
That's what we immediately started wondering. Like, are they really going to have to stop this match? Because this is actually...
Yeah,
I mean, that's the type of thing you would see like in boxing or UFC where it's like, okay, we might have to stop this because,
I was genuinely afraid.
And I was also worried that he might have concussed himself on that one because I was like, oh, shit. And he was bleeding like a stuck pig for a while.
They did get it controlled, and the match was great. But in the beginning, I was worried.
Yeah, but of course they had their doctor at ringside, and I think they might have put like some Vaseline or something on it.
Yeah, they probably did the boxer technique, just Vaseline the hell out of it to get.
I mean, it did work. I mean, eventually they got to stop bleeding, but yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh damn, that's something he's going to be feeling for a while. That's going to have stitches, that's for sure. Oh, that was one of the nastiest bumps of the night, and we haven't even gotten to the lights out match.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so the guy splits his head open. Cody jumps, dives. You think he's gonna get a good hit in, busts his head. We're like 10 minutes into the match.
Yeah, it was like 5-10 minutes into the match.
Yeah, we didn't even get started yet, and the dude split open.
The hard way.
Yeah, and they just kept going.
That's one thing. And it looked like he also like hit his ribs a little bit. I think he was selling it a little bit, but I mean he did hit pretty hard.
Well, you bust your head open, you're going. I
think it was more. I was more worried that he might have concussed himself on that.
Yeah.
It's like, again, I mean, you hit your head hard enough to fucking, nearly tear a piece of your freaking forehead off. Yeah, that is a little bit worrisome, but...
To be fair, though, all jokes aside, I did get to watch a pro wrestler's mom slap the shit out of Chris Jericho. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was a part of the match where Jericho was on the outside, started talking trash to Cody's mother.
He's already split open.
Yeah.
That had already happened. Thrown on the side of the ring.
Yeah, and then... he started talking trash to Cody's mother. His mother just winds up and just smacks him. Of course, I think that was planned, of course, but
Yeah.
that looked like a legit slap.
Dude, that second one, when he was laying.
Yeah, when Cody hit him with the spear on the outside, and then she hit
Yeah,
him with
that second one,
hand.
I don't know if that one was planned. That was just like a
That was just funny.
cue. It was great.
And she, and you can even hear it on the camera. She's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
That was funny as hell.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Let's
Also,
see.
it's really way behind, and I think I missed the moment. But there was a time in the first tag match, when he was in an armbar. Ortiz, I think.
Yeah.
And he said, "Fuck you." That was great. I do want that.
Oh
on.
yeah, that was.
Yeah, I
during,
do want
that
that
was during
on
the
the
Unplugged
record.
match.
Yeah, I do want that on the record. I think we missed it.
Yeah, they basically let themselves go during.
Yeah,
the
he
pay-per-view.
just.
They're a little more reserved on the television show to
Well, you
an
have
extent.
to be. Yeah, you have to.
I mean, they
be.
still do say shit, but you know.
You want kids to be able to watch it. It's a pay-per-view. I mean, if I
mean,
pay for it,
Pay-per-views when they go balls to the wall.
yeah, I expect that. But
As
it
the
was
song
just,
says.
it was a really funny moment, and I felt like I didn't give it the moment.
Yeah, we did kind of skim over it a little bit.
Yeah, that
but,
was awesome.
But yeah, that was a pretty funny moment too. Of course, Hager interferes, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Y2J, well, formerly Y2J, I should say. Chris Jericho. I mean, he calls himself the Painmaker nowadays, but he didn't really bring out the Painmaker gimmick because he didn't have like the face paint on and shit.
Yeah.
Of course, it's kind of a pseudo parody of Okada from NJPW, who calls himself the Rainmaker. One of the best professional wrestlers in the world right now. Him and Omega had the only 7-star rated match in history when they went over an hour in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I've seen parts of it. It's worth a watch. But Jericho hits a suplex, Snake Eyes. Basically, he picks him up with a suplex and hangs him over the top rope. It's a nice kitchen sink, which is basically like a running knee to the gut, which causes his opponent to kind of like do
that was
flip.
a nice flip.
Cody fights back, tries to go to the top to hit the moonsault, but Y2J moves out of the way. Only gets a 2 count. Puts on a sleeper hold and an abdominal stretch. You know, some of the old school moves. Because he is getting a little bit older, so he needs to kind of slow things down a little bit. And
No, he did, but he did it in a nice way.
Yeah.
It was,
he still did some of the crazy aerial moves that he's usually known for. But Cody gets out of the abdominal stretch with a hip toss. Jericho hits a nice drop kick. Goes for the lion salt, but Cody gets his knees up and hits a nice slingshot cutter for a 2 count. Cody starts hitting lariats on him, and then the 10 count punches in the corner. Jericho rolls out to the apron, and Cody hits a nice disaster kick on him. Basically where he jumps onto the rope and then turns and does like a swinging kick in midair.
okay.
It looks really cool. Jericho picks Cody up and basically slams him into the post back first. And of course, this was the part where Jericho started getting in his mother's face.
Yeah.
And and then she slaps him, and then
Got
Cody.
the shit slapped out of him.
Yeah, and then Cody hits him with a spear. They get back in the ring. Cody hits the water wheel slam or the Alabama slam if you're a hardcore Holly fan. Breathe and then you swallow. Cody hits puts a figure 4 leg lock on Jericho, who kind of reverses it. Cody was going to go for, I think he went for a roll up pin, but Jericho pushes him off, and then Hager land blasts him with a punch, which the referee did saw and then threw him out. Thank the God.
Yeah.
And then Jericho picks up the title belt, of course, and hits Cody with it. And of course, he does kind of a pseudo Eddie Guerrero kind of thing, lying and cheating and stealing, where he throws the belt out of the ring and then lays in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he acted like, oh, I'm fucked up, too.
Oh, another part of this match, while Cody was being looked at for the cut on his head, Jericho grabbed actually it was Hager who got a steel chair for Jericho, and he picked it up, set it up in the ring, and just sat there and like, come on, Cody. Basically
Like
being
an asshole.
Yeah, well, he is the big heel, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's classic Jericho for you, though. Yeah, Jericho hits Cody with the belt, but takes a million years to get over to him and get the cover, and Cody kicks out at 2, of course. Jericho tries to go for the Judas Effect spinning back elbow, which a lot of wrestling fans still kind of like, why would that be an effective finisher? Have you seen that move used in MMA? It is one of the most dangerous maneuvers to use because, I mean, you hit someone with especially when you have a trained fighter hit that move, if you hit them the right way, it can knock someone out. Even more so, it can literally break a person's face. I mean, when you get someone with a lot of power and speed, the point of your elbow hitting someone in the face, it can literally shatter
they act like
their orbital bone, their nose, That's why, that move is literally banned in most MMA organizations because it's so dangerous. Here, it's a little, I can understand the kind of...
it's a controlled hit.
Yeah. It's more of a controlled hit than anything else. I can understand why I'd be a little bit apprehensive because you see him use back elbows. It's more of a shove off, but he actually twirls around and tries to use.
That's what I mean. It's a totally deadly move, but it's a controlled hit.
Yeah,
and
you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit here. But as my phone goes off for some reason.
Oh, that's yours. Okay.
I think it's a message. Oh, it's my prepaid card. Not too big. Anywho, so Jericho goes for the Judas Effect, but Cody actually sees it coming. The previous times that Jericho went for it, he hit it straight away and got the 3 count each and every time. So they've obviously they're protecting that move. In this case, Cody actually blocks it. He actually grabs Jericho's elbow, so he doesn't actually hit with it, and turns it into the crossroads. And he actually spiked Jericho on that crossroads.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's something we would see from, smaller guys like Guevara or some of the other smaller guys that got spiked by it. I was like, damn. Only got a 2 count, though. And then he hit the bionic elbow on him, and that got a rise out of the crowd. That would have been cool to see him winning with that one, but he only got a 2 count. Cody tried to springboard off the middle rope, but gets hit with a code breaker in midair. Only got a 2 count. And then Jericho took off his weight belt, started hitting Cody with it.
Smacking the shit out of him. That was...
Yeah, that's probably going to leave some welts on him. Cody with a nice super kick, though, while Jericho was perched on the turnbuckle. Tried to go for a top rope Frankensteiner, but Jericho counters it into the Lion Tamer. Cody was able to get out of it, though, and went for a small package for a 2 count. But Jericho puts the Lion Tamer back in, starts really leaning into it, like a true Lion Tamer. But Cody was not willing to give up. But then MJF throws the towel in, basically saying that's enough. And Jericho retains the championship via a throw in the towel.
To be fair, I think he was close to the middle of the ring. I don't know how he would have.
Yeah, I think he would have passed out.
Yeah, if he didn't throw the towel,
and that would have resulted in a referee stoppage anyway. But I could see where they were going with it, though, because of what happens afterwards, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, right. This was storytelling at its absolute best. Of course, Cody, son of the American dream. I mean, he knows what's up. He knows, the concept of storytelling.
Gee, he split himself open 5 minutes in
and kept going for like another 20 minutes. It's
he knew how it was going to end, and he still.
Yeah, he didn't. It wasn't one of those cases where like, oh, I gotta, stop. No, he kept telling the guys, I'm all right. Let's keep going. And I think at some point you could see Jericho kind of leaning in as kind of.
No, I genuinely think that there was multiple times.
I mean, they're trying to keep up, the illusion of it, but I'm very sure he was leaning in like, "Hey, you really sure you're okay?" I
swear there were points where they were like him, Jericho, and the ref were both like. Realistically, like, are you good? And he just, no, I'm good. Like, we're not gonna stop. It's pay-per-view, and I'm trying to look badass. Like, no, I'm not gonna give up.
Yeah, he pretty much
like
did.
He did. No, he was a trooper.
And the crowd was firmly behind him too. So
fuck yeah, they were.
And it's like, wow, he's not going to get to challenge for the title again. Of course,
Yeah.
they're probably going to find a way to work a way around that eventually.
Oh yeah.
Like through some other means, like, well, you can like read between the lines. He says he can't challenge for the title, but the champion could challenge him, or
Yeah.
he could like win like a stipulation match, like a special, like a battle, like the Royal Rumble or something like that, or something like with a stipulation where the winner gets an automatic title shot or something like that. Because he basically did that because he knows the position he's in. He's like he's basically the head booker, so to speak.
I will say, after watching that match, I know for a fact he's getting a title shot. At some point,
I think he will.
Somehow,
I think he will eventually.
At some point, somehow, I know he's getting a title shot because you don't smash your face off of just solid metal time and place. Like, and then go the full match. He didn't even puss out. He wasn't even like, let's end it early. Like,
I'm pretty sure things were foggy for a minute or two. But...
Oh, I'm sure. And like, there was moments where I was like, Jericho's clearly buying time for him. You know, like doing the heel thing where you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, clearly, you know, he's buying a little time for the guy because he's hurt. But
yeah.
That aside.
Yeah, it was pretty clear he got his bell rung right there. I mean, you could see it, and it's like, you could see the cut on his head. It's like,
yeah, like, you knew he got hurt, and Jericho did his best to, while being a heel, buying time.
Man, that may have been one of the worst unintentional bust opens I've ever seen.
So I say,
it's like, oh wow!
I think he's going to be getting a title shot.
Yeah, I think they'll work it into a storyline at some point.
To be fair, they might even make him lose again. But I do think he's going to get his title shot.
Yeah,
I do think.
You know, I think but the real reason for this is what happened afterwards. Because MJF, I mean, if you've seen what he had been doing, you know, at the beginning of All Elite Wrestling, and even before that in other organizations, the guy can draw heel heat. Now, I'm not talking about the we don't want to see you on TV anymore heel heat. I'm talking about the I want to see you get your shit pushed in heel heat. That's the kind of heat you want as a heel. Because
I call it the Mayweather effect.
Yeah.
The dude's so good, but he's such a prick. You just want to see him lose.
Yeah, and he still draws the crowd in because you want to see him get his shit pushed in.
Because, like, he's so good.
That's what MJF does as a heel in professional wrestling. I mean, and he can talk, too. I mean, he's also good in-ring performer, but he is good on the mic, and he can draw the ire out of a crowd like no other in wrestling right now. And I kind of had a feeling that, I mean, he at first thought that Cody was going to turn heel. Because, I mean, MJF was playing it off good.
To be fair, yeah, I did. I thought. But then I saw the guy come out and wrestle, and I was like, oh. Honestly, I don't know if this is weird to say. It felt like watching, kind of like watching Kurt Angle back in the day.
Yeah.
That, like, American Dream, I'm just gonna... You know,
yeah, the
like,
Olympic hero.
Yeah, like, just, I got that, like, Kurt Angle feeling where it's like, he's just... But when I first seen him, I was like, nah, you... Fuck you.
Yeah.
Then he busts his face 10 minutes in to an hour-long match, and he just
kept it going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty obvious that they were going to do, like, a program, because, I mean, when you have a mega face like Cody... And then you have him go up against a mega heel like MJF. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
That's gonna draw some eyes because after the match, you know, MJF was playing it off big time. Like it looked like he was crying because you know, he didn't want to see his quote unquote mentor get hurt anymore. And Cody was like, "Yeah, it's all right." And then, of course, you saw this one coming. Well, I did, anyways. MJF just reared up and kicked Cody straight in the balls. And I was like, "Yep, there you go."
I do want on record, he can fuck himself.
Oh, another thing, he was into this match big time.
Yeah.
He really wanted Cody to win. A lot of people wanted Cody to win.
I was genuinely invested. And, yeah, we had talked about how the other guy might go heel. And it didn't happen the whole match. Like, there was no, like, sneaky bullshit. during the match. So
yeah, that's what I think a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah, so
I think cat scratch at the door. Fuckers.
Fucking psycho cat. But like, I expected, because we had talked about how he might go heel.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking the whole match, oh, this sneaky little fuck. I'm thinking the whole time he's gonna pull an ankle or he's gonna do something to throw the match. Nope. He lets the dude get his ass beat, and then
he waits for the perfect moment.
And then knowing when the guy still wants to fight, he throws the towel in.
Yeah, when he can't find an escape, and he's like, well, he's not going to give up, so he basically found a way to screw him over.
Yeah, and I watched...
while being in his corner, and it's just like, that's brilliant storytelling, because now you got MJF as the mega fucking heel, and he's going to get nuclear heat.
Yo, dude.
When you have a mega baby face like Cody, and you do something like that, and you are going to get nuclear heat. In fact, another thing, and I don't condone this at all, but another point to this whole thing, when he was walking up the ramp, someone actually threw a water bottle at him.
Oh yeah, again, not cool. Don't do that.
And you could see that there was security there and all that shit.
Yeah, they immediately...
But you could see that when MJF turned to look at the camera, he's like, oh yeah, I got these motherfuckers.
But yeah, you know he loved that moment, because it was just water. Sorry to that poor fan. Also, you shouldn't have done that. Also, don't do that.
Yeah.
But he did take it like a champ and totally rolled with it. Like, yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I got these motherfuckers now. Oh, he is going to get he's going to get so much nuclear heat. Oh my god.
I am upset with how that match played out.
Well, that was the point, though. I mean, it drew you in. It made you actually fucking invested in it. That's the whole fucking point.
Exactly.
Of it,
To be fair, like he said, I was in it. I haven't watched wrestling. I was in it. Like, I didn't know who was going to win, because he busted his face. Jericho's an asshole. I like him, but he's an asshole. So it's like, you want to see them both win, and you know only one can.
Yeah, that was the other thing that was kind of
It really played on it. Like, it was...
Because it's like, you want Jericho to win because, he's gold right now. With the title, because of all his, Jericho-isms, and all that stuff, and, with the inner circle and everything. But at the same time, you want Cody to win because, he's the sympathetic babyface, and it's like, he's massively over with the crowd, so it's like, well, which direction do you go? Yeah. Well, you have the traitorous motherfucker MJF,
well,
come
see,
in.
What I love is they doubled down.
Yeah.
You didn't get I'm not being an asshole. You're the hero. Your babyface Cody. He didn't win. Not only did he not win, but his best friend kicked him in the balls.
Yeah, his supposed best friend.
Yeah, kicked him in the balls and went, nope, you're on your own. And like, that's the last thing. As like anybody who watches movies ever, that's the last thing you expect.
Yeah.
Is that the babyface loses and gets kicked in the balls. Like, you expect one or the other.
And gets turned on by his supposed best friend in the world. You
expect, like, maybe in a match on TNT, maybe he'll get kicked in the balls and his manager's gonna... And then, like, maybe in a TNT match, Jericho might win.
Yeah.
But to get them both, like, in one... Like,
he got crushed.
Yeah, he got crushed. And you're like, what? At least I was.
Yeah, the other crazy thing is... And the other thing, they kept Cody strong, too, because technically he wasn't pinned and he didn't submit. It was just MJF threw the towel in, and of course there was an underlying factor to that.
It wasn't even his choice.
Yeah, it was somebody else's choice.
Yeah, it was, well, of course.
And of course it was a traitorous douchebag.
But it wasn't even his choice, so yes, it'll probably go on his record. As a loss.
Yeah, it would go on his record as a loss, technically.
But we'll all know he got fucked.
Because it's technically referee stoppage, so it still technically counts as a loss. But I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to work around it and get him back into the world title picture. But it's pretty obvious that they want to have a program between MJF and Cody because I mean, you have the mega heel against the mega face. I mean, holy shit. I mean,
Mr. America versus Mr. Kicked Mr. America in the balls. And we all are going to be like...
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be wanting to see MJF get his fucking face ripped off.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I know, like, in his head, he was probably like, yo, I'll be a heel. I'm, like, one of the best heels.
Yeah, and the other crazy thing is, as a face, he could be great, too, because I remember when he attacked the Inner Circle when they were trying to beat down Cody on one episode. He attacked him with a chair, and he had the fucking crowd in the palm of his hand. Like, they were cheering for him, and I was like, this guy could also be a really good babyface, too, because... I mean, the crowd was just fucking going wild.
They just wanted to see him.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, I mean, I think he's one of those guys that could be good as a face or a heel, and he could really work both sides of the street.
Did great as a heel. For me, first time ever seeing this, great heel.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
he's one of the best heels in the business.
Seeing the turn, it was like, even I was like,
yeah,
I hope you die, dude. I mean, I don't hope you die, but you suck. I hope they beat the shit out of you. Like, I hope
the other crazy thing is he hasn't actually wrestled in a match since the first episode of Dynamite, which I think is kind of weird. But I think they're going to be...
They're saving him.
Yeah. What I think they also said what they were going to do is they were going to cycle wrestlers in and out, you know, kind of keep them fresh and stuff. And also, like, you know, come up with new storylines and stuff like that. Which I think is pretty cool because it'll keep everybody fresh. You're not, and also I think the lighter schedule to WWE also helps too because they're only doing one show a week on a Wednesday, 2 if there's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Whereas you have WWE that has like 700 shows a year or some stupid shit like that.
YouTube's pretty
and then it disappears.
God forsake it.
Okay, that's just being trolly at this point.
God forsake you and all that you love.
God forsake all this righteous.
Yeah. God, fuck it. Because then that's it.
But yeah, this was storytelling at its absolute finest. Of course, they got the mega heel against the mega face, and that's going to be a big topic.
Again, one thing I love, they were very subtle about it.
Yeah,
it's not in your face.
And
you touched my wife, and it's not. You blew up the hearse that my brother's uncle's cousin. Goddamn you! Like, it's not. It's just, fuck you. I want that belt. And then the other guy goes, fuck you. You can't have the belt.
Yeah.
And then a guy goes, fuck you. I want the belt. And they're like, you know what? All 3 of you get in the fucking ring. Beat the shit out of each other. Just.
I think he shit himself.
Yeah, just take an asshole. Take a little teardropper, stick it up there, press the plunger, let it out, and then don't let it back out because that's ass. That's what you're gonna smell.
The continent became infested with the taint.
The taint.
That's a Two Worlds reference for you gamers out there.
If it helps for you gamers, what we're recording on right now is sitting on a Mach 5, or you're getting concentrated taint. What's up? Wrestling!
Oh, shit.
There's your jump cut. There's your jump cut.
Can I point out that this is the most fun I've ever done doing a review?
No, I'm glad you're loving it.
But anywho, yeah, I mean, MJF, he's going to get nuclear heat. I can't wait to see what happens on Wednesday night. They're probably going to have him come out to start the show kind of like, yeah, I'm better than you and you know it. You know, that's his kind of a tagline.
Yeah.
His nickname is the Salt of the Earth. If that gives you any indication.
No,
but yeah, his heel work is, he knows how to draw heat from a crowd. But my rating for this match, 5 stars out of 5. no question about it. Because if you love old school wrestling with a little bit of the new flavor and fucking brilliant storytelling, this was it. Yeah, MJF versus Cody. That's probably going to be one of the biggest rivalries heading into next year, I would say.
I think I'd give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think I went 4.5. But letting it digest, I'll go 5. Letting it sit for 10, 15 minutes and then talking about it, I'm gonna go 5.
Yeah, because we're at 2:30 right now.
Yeah, and
so this is basically about 3 hours after the show's done.
Yeah.
So after taking a couple hours to decompress and kind of think things over.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna give it a 5. It's it was good.
I think that was the most invested he was in the match.
Yeah, emotionally, that was the
because he really wanted Cody to win.
I do want that on record. I really wanted Cody to win.
And whenever he got a near fall, he was like, "God damn it!"
I have a 3-year-old son, and I cursed in front of him regularly because I was so invested in this. Goddamn, I wanted him to win. I really did. I like Jericho, but I wanted Cody to win.
Yeah,
I did.
They'll probably have him win the title at some point. They'll find a storyline to work that into. But that was all of the sanctioned matches of the night. But now, holy shit. Where do we even begin with this one? Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega, the Lights Out match. I knew, just from Moxley's reputation alone, this match was going to be crazy. But, I mean, who the fuck did they have help them come up with some of the spots in this match? Like, they did some shit that I had never personally seen before. I was just like, are you kidding me? How long did this friggin' match go? I mean, it felt like, it was more than a half an hour. It didn't feel like it, though, but...
To me, it felt like an hour. But in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, in a good way. So I honestly, I don't know how long.
Yeah, we were so into the match just because of how fucking brutal it was.
It just felt like an hour because of all the things they went through.
Yeah.
Like...
all the things that they were putting each other through. I mean, if you've seen the unsanctioned matches, the other two unsanctioned matches that AEW's put on...
Which I haven't gotten to see.
They are pretty good, but I'm just going to... Full disclosure right now, those two pale in comparison compared to this one.
And I want it on record as a newcomer. I know barbed wire is that's their go-to.
Yeah.
I know that. Barbed wire is your go-to.
It's usually the go-to in death matches.
Like I know that. Because you get small cuts that bleed. Like, I get that.
But they're not super deep.
But I've never seen, and I've never seen barbed wire. It's still about a half-inch thick.
Yeah.
They made a whole table out of it and slammed each other. And here's the thing, both of them are good people because they were like, no, I won't slam you in there. No, you won't slam me in there. We're both going in. So they suplexed it. So that way both people are getting fucked up. Like it, and that's like half-inch thick. You know, you barbed wire, fake, rub it on somebody. That's one thing. But insane.
We're almost to the end, people.
No, I got.
Hold on. I realize this has been a long review, but I mean, there's been so much to talk about. And this was the piece de la resistance, the icing on the cake.
It was insane.
Match of the year candidate? I fucking think so.
Because I fully support you on that.
Because if you are a fan of, the ECW or CCW style of hardcore wrestling, you would have had rock hard diamond dick from watching this match. Straight up. Because, I mean, the shit that they came up with is just insane. So, highlights of this match. And there were a lot. I mean, there's literally look at this. that's all the freaking highlights that I had. I mean, I literally had to go to the side to start writing this shit down.
Here's the thing, guys. We could have. I'm not even being an asshole. We could have a whole half-hour video on just that last match.
Yeah.
Just that last match. It was all amazing, but just that last match, we could squeeze a half hour out of.
Yeah,
that was good.
That match was worth the $50 alone.
It really was.
That's how fucking good it was. I mean,
really
and we had 7 other matches that were actually pretty good in and of themselves.
I enjoyed all of.
And then you have this match. It's just like.
That's how you'll know when to cut.
Yeah. All right.
Man.
Woo! Woo! Okay. Highlights of this match, and there were a lot. Also, by the way, he rated this 5 stars 5 minutes into the match. which I don't blame him.
I made it 5 minutes in, and I was like, 5 stars. I don't care how it ends. 5 stars.
Yeah, wait till you hear how it ends. So they start just straight up in each other's face right off the get-go. And that's one of the other things I like is, Omega, I think, could be construed as a face. Moxley's kind of that loose cannon type character, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin used to be.
See, just to give an analogy, he seems like a scorpion to me.
Like the wild card.
Like, could give a fuck. Like, however, I'm gonna help me.
Yeah.
And what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't seem like a good guy or a bad guy. He just seems like a, can you help me? If not, I'll break your face.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that's kind of like, yeah, I'm only in this for me.
Yeah.
And that's how it basically was. So there was some...
I feel like if you fought a weaker opponent, they'd be dead.
Probably.
Like, genuinely dead.
From some of the moves these guys put in
Yeah.
each other. Like, so there was some quote-unquote wrestling at the beginning, but that went out the window pretty quick. Moxley hit a nice black hole slam at the beginning, but after that, he was like, yeah, it's time to break out the weapons.
We're going all out.
So he goes outside, he goes under the ring, gets a trash can and a trash can lid, goes back into the ring, but Omega tackles Moxley to the outside, sends him over the guardrail, hits a nice running drop kick, which saw him clear the guardrail and hit him with the drop kick. That was pretty damn
good.
That was an awesome drop kick. He starts hitting chair shots on him, grabs a can of beer from someone and smashes Moxley in the face with it. And bear in mind, this was a full beer. And when he hit him with it, it basically sprayed everywhere. And I was like, that
actually looked really cool. Yeah, it did.
And then he hits him with a plastic trash can, which he puts on top of him. He climbs up onto a section of grandstands and does like a coup de grace double stomp onto the trash can, onto Moxley. That looked good. They go back towards the ring, but not before Omega hits him with another full can of beer. Moxley counters with a snap suplex on the outside.
What was it, 3 beers?
2.
2 beers?
Yeah.
2 full beers. He
basically lamb blasted Moxley with.
Just nailed him.
Yeah. And then Moxley brings out the barbed wire baseball bat, which was given to him by Omega at an earlier episode of Dynamite because he wanted like a fair fight.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like one of those things. So he brings out the barbed wire ball bat, smashes it into Omega's back, basically starts wailing on him with it, and you can start seeing the punctures, and it's like, ooh yeah, this is going to get messy. Omega brains Moxley with a trash can, and then Omega hits a nice pile driver onto the trash can. That looked pretty good. And then Omega brings out the barbed wire broom, because initially he picked up the ball bat. I was like, this is not mine. Goes out and grabs the broom wrapped in barbed wire. Moxley was going to try to do a tope suicida, but then Omega brings the broom up and smashes Moxley in the head with it, and he immediately just started bleeding.
Yeah, got him right in the back.
Yeah, like in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And you could see the streams of red rolling down his neck. That was pretty brutal. And Omega does a drop toe hold onto the barbed wire, and then does a Kotaro crusher onto the barbed wire. Looked like he caught himself on it too, like his thumb maybe or something like that.
Yeah, he caught something.
But then he gets a metal trash can, places it up onto the ring post in the corner. I'm like, what the hell is he doing here? And then he picks Moxley up into a fireman's carry. I'm like, oh, that's what he's going to do. So he does his Singapore roll where he snaps back up to his feet afterwards. Jumps up onto the middle rope like he's going to do the moonsault. But he grabs the trash can and then does the moonsault. Didn't quite get him right in the chest with it, but still looked pretty cool.
I will say, dude, we used to do it when we were kids. I could have nailed that. I threw tons of shit under me.
Yeah, one of the things he used to do when
landed, like I always
one
landed.
of the things he used to do when we used to do like play wrestling is he would grab like something that would resemble like a weapon. And he would do like a fucking somersault plancha. Well, first he would throw it in the air and then do a somersault plancha, and they would both land on the opponent.
Yeah, and I'd land on it. And I'm not being an asshole, but he had full control over where that thing went. And to be fair, I know they're like, 20 minutes in at this point.
Probably right around
half
there.
hour.
It was probably around 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so we'll go 20 minutes in. I can see how you're going to slip a little. But
it still looked good,
I can't help it looked great. But technicality-wise, as a 13-year-old that used to do this with my brother with like random shit.
Yeah, it's still
I'll give it a 3. 3 out of 5. That slam anyway. We all know.
It was a little bit short.
We all know that trash can.
Well, the moonsault wasn't short, the trash can was.
The moonsault, spectacular. Like, he had that nailed. Even I learned when I was 13, placement.
Yeah.
And I got fucked up sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, just saying, it looked
okay-ish.
Yeah, it looked good.
It was just a little bit off, but I mean,
yeah,
it's a freaking hardcore match though. Only got
fair,
2.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
Yeah, it was only a 2 count though. And then here was one of the what the fuck moments of this match. Omega brings out one of them big ass black wood pieces, I guess you could say, and they have fucking mouse traps on it. I'm like, what the fuck? And they even pointed a camera at someone in the crowd, and they were like, their face was like,
"Yep, that was a table. It was a table."
Well, whatever it was,
mousetrap thing. It was a table.
Well, whether it was a table or whether it was just a giant piece of wood, whatever it was, it had freaking mouse traps. Actual mouse traps glued to it, and I'm like, that is points for originality. I had never seen that before.
Somebody was even nice enough to all the cheese.
Yeah, they even put all the cheese on it. I was just like, what in the flying monkey blue fuck is this? And Omega hits a nice V-trigger knee strike. He's probably the best in the world with those knee strikes. Moxley hits a nice lariat when Moxley tries to when Omega tries to rebound for another one. And then Moxley hits an X-Plex onto the mousetraps, nearly brainbusters him onto him.
Which looked great.
Yeah. And you could hear the freaking mousetraps going off.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've watched Jackass. It's that same. It just, those were very clearly real mousetraps. That dude got fucked up.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Sorry.
Yeah, that was that definitely felt like a Jackass inspired stunt.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in a wrestling ring before though. So that is major points for originality.
That's true.
And then Moxley goes under the ring once again, brings down some anchor chains. Looked like they were made of brass because they had a kind of a gold tint to them. He does a sidewalk slam onto the chains for a 2 count, and then does a neck breaker, nice neck breaker on the chains for a 1 count. Hey, kitty. And then Moxley grabs the chains and basically does like a cross face by sticking them into his mouth. Omega tried to basically flip the trash can lid into his face to break it up. Then Moxley starts hitting like these cross shots across his head. He puts him in the rear naked choke because there was a video package that showed that Moxley was training a little bit in MMA to kind of get him back in shape. So he had him locked in the, I call it the Buzz Killer, because that's what X-Pac used to call it. But it's, in technical terms, it's the rear naked choke. It's a very common submission in MMA fighting. But Omega grabs the trash can lid again and starts beating Moxley in the head with it until he finally released it. Moxley hit a nice Uranagi. And then he grabs an ice pick from under the ring. So I thought was kind of interesting. Tries to go at Omega with it and impales the top of the turnbuckle. And I'm like, okay. Hey, kitty. Silly kitty. And then Moxley hits a nice back suplex, a nice high angle back suplex onto the chains. Those bumps cannot feel too good whatsoever. And then Omega started hitting his Snapdragon suplexes. He was a huge fan of the Dragon suplex back in the day. Because he used to use it when in wrestling games, wrestling video games, and when we used to do the play wrestling. He loved the Dragon suplex.
It wasn't play wrestling, it was real wrestling.
Well, whatever it was.
We were just in a safer environment.
Yeah, a lot safer environment than these two were.
Yeah, we were just in a more controlled environment.
Yeah, but Omega starts hitting the Snapdragon suplexes, which of course is one of his trademarks. He wraps the anchor chain around Moxley's neck and does the Hangman with them. Of course, Moxley had one of his hands inside the chain to keep him actually strangling him.
I just blah.
Alright, so the camera apparently has a limit of only about an hour and a minute for some weird reason, so it kind of shut off on us again. Hey, you little shitty. In case you can't notice, we got a cat between us now. He just loves that attention. Anywho.
He's the best.
Alright, we're almost done with this. But basically the video cut off when we were talking about the Hangman portion. And then Omega did the Tope con Hilo through the table.
Tope con Hilo.
Which is basically the swanton over the top rope. Through the table that they had set up earlier. And then Omega grabs a black bag, and I was like, well, usually when they bring out black bags, they're full of thumbtacks.
To be fair, that was my first thought. I was like, oh, here comes the thumbtacks.
But that wasn't actually the case. It was actually broken glass, which I'm pretty sure is sugar glass. Because I don't think they would really risk using actual glass, because that would cut them all to fuck. But I think one of the things that they also did was they kind of said that it may have been, watch the claws, cat. One of the things that they did was they kind of alluded to that may have been the broken glass from the table that Moxley DDT'd Omega through. So that was kind of a little bit of more storytelling to it.
That's true too.
I
do want it on record. The ref did cut his hand.
Yeah, and then he grabbed the glove. He's like, "Fuck this."
Well, I did notice even moments even after they commented on it.
Yeah,
I did notice he kept favoring that hand. So sugar glass or not, totally real in the sense that I do think he straight cut himself. He did put his gloves on, which he should have had.
He probably should have had him on to begin with, considering what kind of match he was going to be officiating.
Yeah, knowing what it was going to be, he should have had him on already.
Yeah.
But he did favor that even, I noticed, a little after.
Yeah.
So I do think he really, sugar glass or not, he got cut.
Yeah. So, basically Omega started, he actually took a piece of glass and put it between Moxley's fingers. Which looked pretty brutal. I'm pretty sure that it didn't actually cut him, but again, perception. Then he takes the rest of the glass and starts smearing it all over the ring. Hits a sit-out spine buster onto the glass for a 2 count. And then he drags Omega drags Moxley through the glass.
Yeah.
And then puts him in a nice looking sharpshooter. Basically, they set this spot up so Moxley could crawl through the glass to escape the hole.
We all knew.
Yeah.
He was doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
But damn if it didn't look good.
Yeah, it basically made him look like, I'm going to crawl through this glass to get out of this.
Yeah.
Basically made him look like a tough son of a bitch.
And damn it, he did crawl through it, so he is a tough
Well, to be
son
fair,
of a
both
bitch.
of these guys were tough sons of
Yeah,
bitches. Because
you're
the
right,
shit they
you're
put
right.
themselves through in this match was just...
Fucking insane.
Insane ain't the word for it. And then, as if that wasn't enough, holy shit, Omega starts picking up pieces of the glass and basically tries to shove it into Moxley's mouth. So it's like, okay. Tries to go for another V-trigger. Moxley moves out of the way and hits him with a rebound German suplex. But then Omega hits V-trigger anyways. Moxley gets knocked out onto the ramp. And then Omega grabs the ice pick and starts, and they go up the rampway. And he starts dragging the ice pick all over his forehead. And it was at this point that Omega started signaling to the Young Bucks, saying, "I want that friggin' table." He started. We didn't know it was a table at first.
Yeah, we didn't know what it
he
was.
was signaling
at
to.
first.
He was signaling to the Young Bucks like he wanted something
But he
out.
kept saying, "Bring it."
And they were like, "Come on, man, let's not do this." And he's like, "No, bring the son of a bitch out." We got a pillow. There you go. But yeah, then they brought it out, and I'm like, oh my god. It was basically a freaking table, just spider web with barbed wire.
No, dude, it was a net.
Yeah, it's basically what it was. It was basically a fucking net with nothing. It was nothing but barbed wire, and I'm thinking, you gotta be shitting me.
That was...
I was wondering, how are they going to go through this? And then Omega started picking Moxley up like he was going to go for the one-wing angel, and I'm like, oh no. A single leg electric chair driver through barbed wire? Fuck that. No. That would have been just way too dangerous.
Yeah.
But Moxley, I think they planned that though. So they had Moxley counter out of it. I think they was going to go for the paradigm shift through it. But Omega countered that. And then Moxley picked him up into a suplex, and they both went through the frickin' barbed wire. And they had to spend the next 2 or 3 minutes trying to get him out of this barbed wire. They had a couple people come over to help out. And
a couple people. They had 10 people.
Yeah. So, that was pretty crazy.
Because it was a whole table.
Yeah, it was basically, think of a catch nets, but all barbed wire.
It's fucking insane.
And you could see the cuts all over Moxley's back, and where he's, where the fresh cuts were just bleeding and shit. Then another crazy moment of this match happened when Moxley tried to slam Omega through this set that had the Full Gear logo on it. But Moxley counters out of it and hits a V-trigger that breaks the damn set, and they go into it, and I'm just like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
That was insane, too. They were like, hey, there's this light. Busted. That was gone.
Yeah, first, Omega hit Moxley with some kind of piping or some shit. It was a piece of sheet metal that I can't...
Just some shit he grabbed.
And just waylaid him with it, and then he hits the V-trigger through that fucking sign, and it's just holy shit. And it took several minutes for them to recover from that. But then they start... Huh? Oh, we'll get it here in a second. We're almost done. So they start heading back towards the ring finally. Moxley hits the Dirty D's, the shorter version of his double arm DDT, onto the frickin' glass, spiked Omega. Only got a 2 count though, and Moxley was like, what the fuck? And then he grabs a box cutter, starts cutting the straps off the mat.
Just fucking crazy. He goes full on crazy.
Yeah, starts
cut all of this shit.
Yeah, well, it's they're going to be tearing down the ring after this match anyway, so
yeah.
might as well get a head start. But he's cutting off all the straps so he can pull the ring mat up, or the covering up, and then the mat's up, and underneath it all is plywood. Hard as fuck plywood.
Fucking pine wood.
Well, whatever
they said
it is.
It was pine. Well, at first I was watching.
Yeah, I think it
with
was
you, and I
pine
was
actually.
Like, oh,
yeah.
that's just plywood.
No,
But then I heard JR go, no, that's pine wood.
That shit's hard.
Which is about as tough as you're gonna get. And
it's like, holy shit. Let's see. What do they do on it?
fucking beat the shit out of each other, man.
Yeah, Moxley was going to go for a cradle pile driver. You know, a single pile driver, but he was going to lock the arms around like a Jerry Lynn style pile driver. But Moxley or Omega countered out of it by backdropping him onto the wood, and I was like, ooh, even the backdrop looked painful.
All of that's gotta hurt. It's all.
Then he hits another V trigger, and then he hits his own variation of the Dirty Deeds. Only got a 2 count though. Then Omega climbs up to the top rope and goes for the Phoenix Splash, but Moxley rolls out of the way, and boy, when Omega hit the wood, it looked like he face planted himself. That looked like it hurt. And it looked like it kind of opened up a cut above his eye too.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, he got a little cut.
Moxley then covered him, but only got a 2 count. He's like, okay, fuck this. He hits the paradigm shift, the elevated double arm DDT, onto the wood, and finally gets the 3 count for the victory. Holy shit. What a match.
Insane.
I mean, that match was worth the $50 all by itself. Yeah, this was easy 5 stars.
Insane.
Easy 5 stars for me. I mean, it was 5 stars like 15 minutes into the match.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 stars.
I mean, after they pulled that, yeah, I think it was 5 minutes for him, and you gave it 5 stars. After the mouse traps, I was like, yeah, 5 stars. I mean, because that's extra points for originality, and these two. I mean, I knew they were going to go balls to the wall, but Jesus Christ.
Dude, they
went above and beyond the Call of Duty in this case.
Yeah, they came out swinging. And I was like, okay, well, last match of the night, they're going to go a little hard. And then, like, 2 more minutes, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're going to die. And then it kept going, like, just...
Yeah, the cardio on both these guys.
In a good way, yeah. Like, I couldn't run a mile, let alone... Hey, Dustin, you think you could, slam this guy through barbed wire? Go ahead and get slapped a couple times. We're gonna throw you into some mouse traps. Don't do that.
At least not yet.
Yeah, like, and I would have been like, no.
These two, they look like they were actually enjoying it, though. Like,
that's the thing.
They were putting on a fucking show, and it's just like, holy God.
Cincinnati, man? Insane.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. Omega? Well, he's
from the same city as Jericho, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Well, no, he's champ. You know?
Yeah.
Like, in his head, he's like...
He's Le Champion.
Yeah, Le Champion. El Capitan.
But yeah, even though, and here's the other thing too, even though this match is technically not going to count on Omega's or Moxley's record, you gotta put these two right at the top as potential contenders, because it's like...
No, they'll be like, well, technically speaking, and then every fan is going to be like, barbed wire mousetrap table taint crusher. And then they're going to be like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, there's
reputation-wise, this is big for both guys.
There's no forgetting this match.
No.
If you saw it, you're going to remember it.
I'm not going to be forgetting this.
If you heard about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, dude, I'm going to remember this match.
Yeah.
Like,
this was one of the best matches I've ever seen.
It was insane.
I've watched a lot of fucking wrestling over the years, and it's just like...
Well, our dad rents...
1 second, dude.
Our dad rents $50 UFC fights, and like, you can spend $50 to watch a 30-second fight.
Yeah, but they beat the shit out of each other in those, though.
No, they do. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You could watch UFC and, like, it could be a huge pay-per-view, but one lucky punch, that's it.
Yeah.
We just watched damn near 4 hours of like solid entertainment.
Yeah.
I liked every second of it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and the matches were just spot
Yeah,
on.
it wasn't.
Those last two were classics. Omega Moxley, probably the match of the year.
Yeah, that last one, that one's gonna stick with me, because that was, I mean, they didn't bring thumbtacks out. That's the only thing they didn't use.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they didn't even use the kitchen sink, and they could have brought that one out too.
Yeah, that's the only thing they didn't use was the stuff we were looking for.
Yeah, but honestly, they didn't need it. They didn't need any of it.
I saw,
but wow,
an ice pick. I saw a screwdriver, or no.
Same difference.
Technically, it was a screwdriver. I saw a screwdriver. I saw mouse traps.
Barbed wire, ball bats, brooms, tables.
I saw quite literally
fucking
a table
spider
made of
fucking barbed wire.
Yeah,
like, holy
and they
shit.
threw each other into it.
Went through the fucking like Full Gear sign at the entrance.
Demolished their sign, which I don't even know if that was like a plan or not.
I think it was, because it broke apart quite easily.
No, the circle went in.
Yeah.
But I was looking, the way they landed, I don't know if they thought about it. I think they just went, we're going to slam through this.
Well, it looked cool.
No, it looked amazing. And then all of that happened like halfway through their fight. Do what?
You want some hugs?
Wait, I'll give you a hug.
Alright, well, all things aside, when it all comes down to it, with the show as a whole, my final rating for AEW Full Gear, 10 out of 10. Seriously. I can't think of a wrestling show where I got my full money's worth out of one fucking match. And then the rest of the matches were just pretty good in and of themselves. 3 pretty good championship matches, a 5-star classic, in my opinion, with Jericho and Cody. A lights out match that completely tore the house down. 10 out of 10. Yes, perfect score. Best show of the year, in my opinion. And it's a pretty big opinion, because I'm usually pretty harsh with my rankings, because I'm kind of a nitpicker at times. But I mean, any nitpicks I had with this show, I mean, it just doesn't compare to the awesome sauce that we saw tonight. What's your final rating for the show?
Out of 10?
Yeah. In your honest opinion.
In my honest opinion, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. As a newcomer, I didn't feel bored. And I got to see some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy, some of those matches. It was... But none of the matches made me feel bored.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys he didn't know either. I basically explained to him, each of these guys' backgrounds, and he kind of came up with, his own conclusion. Okay,
I was virtually, I knew nothing about any of the wrestlers except for maybe 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 of them. Okay, we'll go 5. No, we'll go 2. But I knew nothing about them. Still enjoyed it. Enjoyed every moment of it. Totally worth the $50.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
In other words, if you haven't seen this pay-per-view yet, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, totally.
Especially if you're an AEW fan, I wholeheartedly recommend you find a way to watch this pay-per-view. It'll be worth every bit of your money and time. That much I will promise you. Well, this has been a long-ass review. But we're finally to the end of it. It is late. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So, special thanks to my brother for coming on board with us tonight, since he got to watch it as well. And you got to hear his honest views on it. Yeah, it was worth it. Thank you very much for those of you that have watched this long-ass review. There was just so much to talk about. It wasn't even funny. But it'll be interesting to see what happens this coming Wednesday night on Dynamite when we, see what the fallout is for Full Gear. I would imagine a lot of people's going to be watching.
That's gonna be probably
I wouldn't be
polarizing.
Yeah, especially with MJF, going back full heel.
That's what I mean. That's probably gonna be polarizing. Wednesday's gonna be.
He's gonna get nuclear heat.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough. All right.
Yeah, Dynamite's gonna be like, I'm gonna be waiting on bated breath to watch that episode for sure, because the fallout's gonna be crazy. But it'll be interesting to see where they go from here, because I don't know how they're gonna top this. That's for damn sure.
Oh man,
they just keep raising the bar higher and higher, and it's like, how high can they go?
I want to watch it, but I can't remember. Is it on?
It's on Wednesday night.
Wednesdays at on TNT?
Yeah.
Wednesdays on TNT?
Yep. It comes on.
Not a sponsor, but.
Yeah, they come on at 8 p.m. If you want, I can record them so you can watch them later.
Oh,
if you want.
Record them all. And then also, sponsor.
But we're going to get the hell out of here. It's way past our bedtime at this point.
It's fucking it's 4 o'clock.
No, it's 3:12 in the morning, though, as we're recording this. Oh, shit.
I do want on a record. It was a pleasure. I am in no way a wrestling expert, but I enjoyed everything.
But, he gives his honest opinion, much like I do.
I did enjoy it. And I want it on record as not an expert. We rated our matches about the same. We were only off, I'd say, about a half point most matches.
Yeah, here or there, so,
Yeah, about a half point. Most matches, we were pretty on par.
Yeah, the only match you didn't really get to see was the pre-show match, but...
I did miss a couple matches.
Well, it was just that one match, I think.
I thought it was... Okay, I missed
one.
It
was just the pre-show, though.
I missed one.
It wasn't that big of a deal, especially with how good the show was, but... We're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for watching.
Yes, money was worth it. Spend it.
Yeah.
TNT.
Find a way to watch this show. You won't regret one bit, especially if you're a huge wrestling fan. But thank you very much for watching. As always, this is the PackerMan signing out. Till next time. Bye. Well, that is all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, favorite, like, and subscribe to my channels here on YouTube.com and over on BitChute.com. If you would like to sponsor my channel, go to my channel page at subscribestar.com. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan, signing out. Have a good one.